Salve Forth Paladins, and welcome back to another episode of Starfleet Command, Orion Pirates Postmod. I'm Lieutenant Commander Tarek of the HMS Inelucutable, as we continue our campaign against the Lyran Star Empire, and last time, well, we currently hold the station of 1-6. We have a foothold inside Lyran territory, and now we shall exploit it, so let us quickly check our shipyard. We are currently sitting on 3,191 prestige, which is pretty significant. We're just under the cost of being able to afford a Templar-class dreadnought, but what we're really looking for is a Ranger-class cruiser, which unfortunately is currently not on this list, which is a little bit unfortunate because I would like to get a Ranger-class cruiser because it's a relatively modern one that carries 8 fighters. Basically, it's a full-on fighter carrier. The Lord Marshals are not quite that, and the Lord Bishops, which are normally the type of class of ship that I would go for, well, they only carry 3 fighters, and they're equipped with a whole bunch of Hellbores, 4 to be exact, plus 2 fusions. This is the sort of ship that we would normally fly for our Hydran campaigns. However, we're looking to change things up a little bit. We're looking to emphasize the techniques on how the Hydrans normally fight, and so we shall wait a little while until we can actually get our hands on a real one. There is a THR. I've never seen that one before. A thoroughbred fast cruiser. Nope, not interested. So we're going to quickly check up our supplies. We're fully kitted out. We have a shuttle and most of the spare parts that we need. We're going to set out into space and do a little bit more skirmishing. We're not going to do too much crazy stuff. All we're looking to do is get a little bit of damage down, maybe grab a little bit more prestige, and eventually afford some sort of carrier. The Ranger class is the intended one. However, if a Dreadnought carrier shows up relatively soon, I'm going to take that without a second thought. So we are out on patrol, and we already have 2 vessels in our sights. I'm seeing 2 gigantic freighters, and with any luck, they won't be particularly well equipped. It is an FLRG and an FEL. You might have an expanding sphere generator. E makes me think escort, but that may not be the way that works. FLRG should just be a bunch of phasers, so I should be able to take advantage of that. Unfortunately, we have no friends along with us for the ride, so it will be just us dueling against the 2 freighters. Now, the one great advantage that we have is freighter hulls are very, very weak. The hulls themselves of this ship are not really designed for combat. They're designed for hauling big loads of cargo around, so it doesn't take a whole ton of firepower to break them. We're going to get right on top of them as fast as we can and hopefully annihilate them. So let's quickly check our power and jump up to speed as fast as we can go, while also being somewhat reasonable and protected from long-range phaser fire. And we shall increase the speed of time. I'm eager to get myself a brand new Ranger-class cruiser, so I'd like to get through this fight relatively soon. I should have sent a probe, but we don't really need it because I think I know what I'm about to get myself into with an FLRG, and we may be able to knock him down. Yep, he only has 2 phasers, and they're not particularly powerful ones either. The FEL might have something better. I think he might be a Q-ship of some description, and we're going to find out relatively soon. Well, he decided to turn right on into us, so we did 33 damage to him, and we're going to slow down so we can start charging our weapon systems. And his light phaser is not doing anything. He only had a single phaser 2, a single phaser 3. We're packing 4 phaser 2s and a Gatling phaser, which is essentially 4 phaser 3s. So we're perfectly happy with that. He's down to a speed of 7. He's been pretty badly crippled, and he lost a shuttle bay. Oh wow, that was a really fast repair right there. I'm gonna I'm gonna slow down a little bit more, but then we're gonna launch a probe. The probe takes an entire point of power, which is expensive on a frigate. Wow, you are just as poorly armed as this FLRG. So this should be relatively easy. Oh, good, excellent, love it. We are going to basically jump on top of this guy and nail him with a whole bunch of firepower. The really fun thing about this ship is this G-type Gatling phaser, which is the purple one, by the way, if you're looking for colors. It does it can shoot 360 degrees, so we don't actually need to be facing him in order to get the shot that we want. So he's trying to maneuver to keep that open bow away, and we don't really care, because we're going to pass right in front of him and nail him with a whole ton of phaser fire, just as soon as we can cut across and over the top of him. There we are. Shattered. Alright, so that's the first one down. On to his buddy, who is armed exactly the same way, and may even have weaker shields than him. So he's probably not going to have a very good day. I'm going to slow down. We've got half of our phaser complement ready, although it is the half on the port side, which is not currently towards him. Although the Hellbore is about to be ready to go. So I'd love to get the entire Alpha Strike on target, but I don't think the timing is going to match up on that. We're going to get relatively close to him and get ready to nail him with everything we've got. I'm going to hold for as long as I can, but I don't think it's going to be able to be long enough. Although he has a really big ship, and fire! Oh, we were able to hold it for just long enough. Did a grand total of what appears to be 16 damage. Ooh, that's unfortunate. That's not very high at all compared to what we had just done. We need to pick up the speed a little bit more, now that we actually have the power to do so, and get ourselves zipping back along. Only 16 damage through. It does look like we managed to do something again to his phaser 2, so he's not having the best of days, but he's still chugging along at a speed of 15, which is pretty fast for a freighter. So if we can get up behind him, hopefully we can knock out those engines. We are more maneuverable than him by far, and we're about to come in at him with all of our heavy weapons. Well, okay, all of our phasers and none of our heavy weapons. Although on a ship like this, you really could consider that Gatling phaser a heavy weapon. It hurts badly. So hopefully we'll get a nice, decent angle shot on this one. Well, really, we just need to smash right into him. We could pass over him and go for the weak shield, but I think we're going to be fine. 24 damage was that one. And he does lash out with his Phaser 3. Did a little bit of damage, but nothing through the shield, so we're perfectly happy and fine with that one. And as soon as our Hellbore gets on target, we can fire it immediately. The Hellbore will automatically cycle to hit the weakest shield, which just so happens to be this down shield on his forward port side, so he ain't protecting anything. And we hit him, got another 5 damage on through. It also does a little bit of damage to the rest of the shields around. If they had been weak enough, we could have actually knocked out a couple of shields at the same time. Phasers ready for the crunch through, and this might be enough to kill him. It's going to be tight, though. Maybe not. We may need another round of shooting to do it, but we're going to get right on top of him and nail him with all the phasers that we've got. He wastes his fire into our forward shield, not even able to get past the reinforcement, so we're very happy with that one. And get me to a range of 0 so I can annihilate him with everything I've got. 24 damage, knocked out his Phaser 3 and his Phaser 2. He is defenseless at this point. I could try and send over Marines, but I'd have to overcome 3 people, and I've only got 1 transporter. So probably not in the cards. Let's kick up the speed of time as we'll zip on back around and annihilate him with the rest of the Phaser barrage. We are ready and able. Ooh, still alive. So apparently this is some sort of armor upgrade, because I refuse. Well, I suppose we probably could have killed him with the salvo that we had last time, but we didn't add in the Hellbore. Alrighty, so he's been torn apart into little tiny pieces. All happy and done there. 2 freighters located and defeated. That should be good for at least 10 prestige, although hopefully more than that. After all, 2 freighters against 1. 388. Wow, that's pretty significant. And a neutralized tile. We're going to come back home. We have 3,500 prestige. That is enough to buy anything right now in the Hydran inventory. What's a PGV? A Pegasus light carrier. We want the Ranger, which is the bigger version of that. It'll be a cruiser-sized ship instead of a destroyer-sized ship. There's another Lord Marshal. Still not seeing what we're looking for. We're going to be banking for a little while if that's the case, because I really want to get my hands on a brand new Hydran Ranger class cruiser. And we can actually take a quick look at what that'll be like. It's up in the heavy cruiser. Oh, actually, quick check of the Dreadnought. Maybe there will be a carrier version. The Paladins are out. And Paladins do carry with them 8 fighters, as do the Templars, but the Templars are more designed for a close-range battle. So the Paladins came out in 2269, which it is that here. So we may actually be able to find them. And the Liege Light Dreadnoughts came out last year, so we'll also keep our eye open for a PAL, although it may be a little while before that shows up. They're going to be very strong, very powerful, and very large Dreadnoughts. So, oh, we just had an update of the set. So let's check for PAL. Maybe we'll get lucky. We were not, unfortunately. So we're gonna set onto space and continue. Oh, never mind. We're stuck here with a diplomatic delivery. Maybe by delivering this diplomat, they will decide that they want to give me a brand new giant dreadnought. One can only dream. Alrighty, it does appear to be an FLPH, which, if not mistaken, is a Romulan cargo ship that is only armed with phasers. We'll find out as soon as we finish charging up the phaser capacitor. That will mean that 1 turn has gone by, and that will mean that we can fire a probe. In the meantime, let's get ourselves up to speed so we can cruise along towards them. And we are being escorted today by the Standing Double, which is an ISC freighter, or an ISC Q ship by the looks of it, with a number of phasers. He's got, what, 5 phaser 2s and a phaser 3. That's not insignificant. But you, my friend, hopefully we can take him out and he won't have any plasma torpedoes. If he doesn't, then we'll have a nice easy time, just like the last battle. And I would really like to get my hands on a Paladin. I know I wanted the Ranger before, but the Paladin would be, well, everything that the Rangers got and more. Unless, of course, you know, randomly they come out with one of the new carriers. So the probe indicates to us that this enemy vessel is equipped with a grand total of phasers, and a lot of them. Wow, he's he's identically loaded out to the Standing Double behind us, so we shouldn't get too close. If we do, we'll take a nasty hit to the face, and we don't really want to do that. Let's get our forward shield to a level of reinforcement that is appropriate for our station. You shouldn't have pseudo-frigates, but I can't guarantee that. It is still fairly early on in the game. The Romulans may not have them yet. That's more or less what I'm hoping for. So he is firing lots of phasers from long range. We're going to have to get a decent shot on through and hopefully break something. Slow down the speed of time so we can start doing things a little bit more realistically. And prepare for his counterfire. That's the first shot. I'm hoping for several more shots. Are you going to shoot them? Please do. And... fire! So a point-blank range shot for 23 damage. It did hurt our forward shield. I don't know if that's because he ended up shooting it into it or what. Yeah, he must have fired into it. He wasn't able to penetrate our forward shield defenses, which is very good because it now means that we can kind of stay at range and mess with him a bit. If he brings his bow towards us, well, we have a phaser G. We didn't end up using one of our phaser 2s. That is unfortunate. And it's on the other side of the ship, which is even more so unfortunate. So we could start chasing him down. We have the capability. I was trying to mix capability and capacity. So the Gatling phaser is a go, which means our forward shield should have a pretty decent amount. Yep, 4.5 points of power is nothing to sneeze at. And his light fire currently not penetrating that shield. Wonderful. We'll wait for him to fire everything he's got, and then we'll launch everything we've got right back into him. Hopefully it'll deal enough damage to break him. I doubt it, but we can hope. Our Hellbore is about half a turn away from being ready to go, but we can fire that from any angle that we desire. Come on, get that bow on, and there. Gatling phaser, able to get a decent shot on through. Still hasn't penetrated our shield, so we've knocked out 2 of his phasers. We hit the good mount. So he's got 8 speed left going for him, and he took 32 in that last pass. We do need to slow down because we want that Hellbore to charge, and it's currently not. Another shield has dropped thanks to the standing double. And can I get another phaser shot? I can. It didn't really do anything. Probably should have saved it. But the Hellbore, on the other hand, will wrap right around and go into his weakened shield for an additional 7 damage. We've knocked out another phaser 2 and the phaser 3. He's down to 2 phaser 2s, and he's repairing a third. So he is trying. Gatling phaser, can we get it on? Oh, we gotta be a little bit closer. The ship size is fairly large despite its somewhat weak power, so it's somewhat difficult to judge distances by view alone, because we are small and he is big. So even though... oh, and he's dead. Wonderful. Alrighty, so let's go to green alert, kick on the speed to maximum power, and we shall accelerate and drop this diplomat onto the planet down below. We are not the most prestigious ride for a diplomat. After all we are is a frigate, and not a particularly new frigate anymore. The ages have passed. This frigate is becoming somewhat outdated. It's not a bad frigate, though. I mean, a Hellbore is always useful. It's a fairly decent ship. We got quite lucky with it. If we had been armed with fusion cannons only, then we would probably be in a lot more trouble. Because the fusion cannon is a pretty decent weapon, but it requires you to be at point-blank range, and frigates don't necessarily do well at point-blank range. We like to have the option to sit long ways away and fire heavy weapons that'll wrap around to the front. Makes for a very useful weapon setup. Alright, almost into transporter range, and we can send our diplomat on. And we'll start to turn away. And reduce the speed of time, so it's all set up for the next mission. So diplomat delivered. Hopefully that'll trigger some sort of procession on the mission so that we can maybe get into a Paladin Dreadnought. I'd like one. A Paladin Plus would be better, but I doubt that I'm going to wait 4 years in order for that to come out. Is it 4 years? It might be less. Shipyard, hi. Looking for PAL. You got anything for me? No. Alright, so we'll set up and we'll continue. Yes, I am hoarding cash a little bit. Oh, by the way, we received a promotion. We are now Captain Tirak, which is always nice to say. I actually got a little bit messed up when I first started recording this episode. That was the second attempt to begin recording the episode, because the first time I said I was Fleet Admiral Tirak, and I haven't been a Fleet Admiral for, what is it, 5 episodes now? So we have been ambushed. Or not. I see no enemy targets. Interesting. Okay. Let's come over to the Sciences panel and activate the deep scan, because as of right now, there are no enemies. I mean, this could very well be the case. There might not actually be any enemies. That would be somewhat rare and kind of unfortunate. But nobody to fight here. I want kind of my money. I came here to get more prestige so I could afford a better ship, but I'm not seeing anything. Now, the thing about using a deep scan is once it's fully charged, we're going to get a 33% increase in range, which means we can see out to 133 distance, whereas normally we can only see out to 100. But I'm not seeing anybody. And the deep scan has completed finishing. Yeah, that's it. So increase the speed of time and just maximize the speed of the ship. Because at this point, I think we're done. I think we've finished off the entirety of the enemy fleet. Or whatever have you. So apparently we return home to the warm embrace of the Purple Nebula. Or wherever the edge of the map is. Should be close. If I go away from the Purple Nebula? To the Orange Nebula, perhaps? Well, we'll just set this thing on a course and eventually get on out of here. But yeah, spawning into missions like these where nothing happens is a little bit unfortunate. This is one of the best paying missions you can get. In terms of cost back, you can get something in the order of, I believe, 500? Or 495, I think. Because you automatically take a negative 50? Or 5? You can make a lot of cash on this mission. That's the point of that. And unfortunately, we're not going to because we didn't blow anybody up. So despite the deep scan, despite everything being ready for it, and despite all of our weapons, well, aside from the Hellbore, we didn't bother charging that. Well, we could have fought somebody, anybody. Freighters would have been ideal. Being able to destroy and annihilate freighters for all that extra cash would have been awesome. Let us set to warp speed off in the long, long distance and see what things will be happening. 100 prestige for escaping with our lives, and a neutralized tile. Not terrible at all. Although I think the tile was already neutral, so not a whole heck of a lot gained from there. But back down here, we're going to go to supply or shipyard. Shipyard is what I need. Duh, we're looking for a paladin. That was the whole point of coming home. Still nothing. Oh, it might take a while for them to sort of cycle out to way out here in the distance, and of course another diplomat. So we have been tasked with delivering another high official to do something. So let's red alert and boost that speed. This time we're fighting another freighter, although it is an armored freighter, and we're being escorted by the FTQ, the HMS Determination, which is a Federation Q-ship? No, it's got an HMS, so it must be one of ours. Although there are two enemies on the screen now. There is a frigate and a freighter. Things could get ugly here. Alright, so let's see what we need to do. I'm tempted to prepare a suicide shuttle just in case. I don't lose anything for setting it up, except for a transporter mine, which... How many do I got left? 3? Yeah, I'm good. So, potentially, if everything goes south, we will have... if everything goes very well, maybe? We will have an emergency backup. Send the probe off in the distance to see if we can't deal with this frigate. What are we dealing with? Triple missile, plus a disruptor. So a very Marak-inspired frigate, which is a tad unfortunate. Let's get our speed up just a little bit more and give ourselves the forward shield reinforcement. So our shuttle is ready to kill, which is exactly what we want. And now his triple missile is dangerous, very dangerous to us. You, on the other hand, I don't know what you've got, but we're about to find out because you decided to come right in. Just phasers. Interesting, you don't say. Those disruptor blasts are going to get annoying. They're going to get annoying because they're going to be so dangerous. Start to slow down, see if we can't bait out a phaser shot. That was the phasers. And nail into his side for 27 damage. So he's not having a great day. Unfortunately, we didn't deal enough damage to his engines to make him vulnerable to our suicide shuttle. I hear missiles, and they're going in after the Determination. The Determination has a lot of phasers, so honestly shouldn't be at all concerned with that, and Determination easily knocking out his missiles via transporter bomb. Alright, so we need a little bit more speed. How much power do I got for free? 2.8? Yeah, let's sap that budget a little bit. Kick in the speed. We need to get in on top of them in order to use all our phasers. Our phasers are quite short-ranged. Using phaser 2s instead of phaser 1s really does harm just how far you can reach out and shoot. But our Q-ship is way better than their Q-ship. He's got green shields and better weapons. Alright, 28 damage onto it. We've knocked out most of his weapon systems, half of them at this point. So he's down to a single phaser 2 and a single phaser 3. So he can't be having a grand day right now. This guy, on the other hand, could really be a problem, and relatively soon, too. Slow down a little bit. I do want to get my bow on for the Hellbore shot. It might be enough to kill him, although I kind of doubt it. 7 damage, probably not going to be sufficient, but you never know, and we might get lucky. Hey, we got lucky. Lovely. Alright, so let's get moving a little bit. I don't want to be right next to him. Please don't try to kill me. We're supposed to be friends, I think. So we have our systems mostly ready to go. The Hellbore is still a turn away from being ready, but we do have our phasers. He's in a really nice position to surprise missile me. So we're going to launch all of our weapons on the pass-through. That way we can kick up the speed. Aha! I figured he would do that. So get ourselves up to a speed of 16. We are above 16. Oh, that's mean. Please. Oh, they took out my Gatling phaser. That's a problem. Didn't lose a single point of power, although we do have a repair engines option open, which means our labs are down. Labs will make it so we can repair our shields faster. But the Gatling phaser being out is a significant chunk of our firepower. So we're going to need that back. He has lost one of his missile launchers, so he's not having a tremendous day either. If we can get the Gatling phaser back, we have a lot of firepower, and we can use it quite well. Although I can't show my stern towards him, otherwise he's going to hurt us quite badly. We have about a half a turn away from the Hellbore, so we're going to try and get an angle around onto one of his weakened shields so that we can really do some damage here. But he is quite maneuverable, and that's going to force me away. It also eats up a pair of my phasers, which is very unfortunate. How much longer until that Gatling phaser is ready? It's almost finished. They've almost got it fully repaired and ready to rock. So I will hopefully be able to combine utilizing... Need to slow down a little bit. Get some power for that Hellbore. Alright, so the Gatling phaser is ready to go. It's armed and powered. And he's just had to lose a bit of power. Slow down a bit more. Let's go for the high energy turn. We're going to get the shot on. Oh, he tractor beamed. Interesting decision. Easy shot into the back. Lit him up with most of my phasers. And that'll be... Oh crap, the missiles are coming full speed. We gotta get some speed going on here because he's gonna launch them. He's got a single phaser, one left. Rear shield is down, but this time the Gatling phaser did not break. It only got a little bit singed. So he's down to a speed of 3. Speed of 3, he hasn't been charging his disruptor. He's got a single phaser, 1. So as long as we don't go directly towards him, he probably can't suddenly surprise us with a whole ton of missiles. Gatling phaser is almost ready to rock, although it looks like the Determination might be able to kill him on his own. Determination still cycling through weapons. Might take a little while, although we're about to come through with our own little knife pass here. And we got him. Alrighty, let us set course for the conference planet. Let's go to full power and drop the shields. We don't need them anymore. The war/battle is over. We shall drop off someone to a much more hospitable looking planet. This one apparently has cities on it. The other one was very, well, sort of a combination between Venus and Saturn. Get ready for the diplomat. We don't want to smash into the planet, that's very important. And maybe we'll get lucky and there will be a paladin. And then the greeting of Sally Forth Paladins will actually have even more meaning because we will be in that ship. By the way, paladin was a terrible thing to have us sally forth as, mainly because saying paladin and some sort of, like, odd Hydran accent is what I'm going to claim it is, and not a terrible British accent. That's actually pretty hard, I'm realizing. Alright, so we have our diplomat over on the conference planet, and let's prepare to see... Well, we know how much prestige we're going to get. It's pretty much the same thing every single time, although I doubt that it's going to give us a massive increase because they sent a second ship at us. But in any event, they decided to pay us out 460 prestige, not bad. Shipyard, I'm gonna bet you don't have a paladin, but I want one. Yeah, there's no paladin here just yet, but that actually does bring us to the end of an episode. We're sitting on 4,669 prestige, which probably is enough for a paladin. Maybe, potentially, hopefully, cross your fingers. Anyway, I've been Derek. If you like what you've been seeing, hit that like button and subscribe. If I see a notification every time I list one of these videos, press that little bell icon, leave a comment, and I will see you all in the next episode.